Hello, it's Tuesday. All right, Amazon. Flash briefing. For Wednesday in
Jamie,
New Zealand.
here's your flash briefing.
All right.
In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Israel says it has conducted hundreds more attacks on Gaza overnight. This comes as Hamas militants freed 2 more Israeli hostages. They are elderly. Israel says Hamas continues to hold more than 200 people hostage. Experts say it still isn't clear which side was behind an explosion that killed hundreds at a hospital in Gaza last week. NPR's Jeff Brumfield reports some want to see an international investigation into the incident.
Palestinians were seeking safety in the hospital parking lot when there was a massive explosion. In the aftermath, Hamas blamed Israel, while Israel presented evidence that a misfired militant rocket was the cause. Independent investigators have found problems with both stories. Photos of the aftermath don't look like an Israeli airstrike. A video of the incident suggests the projectile came from the opposite direction of the militant rocket fire. Mark Garlasco is a former UN investigator. He says the explosion must be looked into.
This incident, as we currently understand it, is a war crime.
But he says that will be challenging given there's little chance of an independent team visiting the hospital anytime soon. Jeff Brumfield, NPR News.
A one-time lawyer to former President Donald Trump has agreed to plead guilty to a single charge in Georgia. Jenna Ellis has pleaded guilty to aiding and abetting false statements about the 2020 election results in Georgia. She's agreed to testify in the case. House Republicans are meeting behind closed doors to choose a new candidate to run for Speaker. 3 candidates dropped out today, leaving GOP lawmakers to select one of 5 remaining candidates. South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson is frustrated.
We're in the 4th week without a speaker. These are not political
Hey,
games. This is
come on.
actually a government that needs to be run. I think they understand that we have an ally at war. We have a southern border in crisis. We have a government shutdown looming in just a few weeks. They all seem to get the fact that real leadership is needed now.
He spoke to NPR's Morning Edition. There's been a sell-off in the bond market on Wall Street. Yields have risen to levels not seen in more than 15 years. NPR's David Gura reports price declines in U.S. Treasuries are being driven by a stronger-than-expected economy.
The yield on the 10-year Treasury note
The
affects
price
the interest component of
declines
credit
are
cards,
driven
car
by the
loans,
government.
and
Come on.
mortgages. And this week it topped 5%. It hasn't been this high since 2007. Higher yields reduce the value of retirement portfolios, and they limit what businesses can borrow. It also becomes more costly for the U.S. government
They're on the
to
rise,
issue
by
debt.
the way. They're not
What's fueling
declining.
the sell-off in bonds is Wall Street's expectations have changed about what the Federal Reserve is likely to do at future meetings. The Fed has raised interest rates
Hike,
aggressively
increase
to get
interest,
high inflation under
increase
control,
tax.
but recent economic
We
data
know what they do.
indicate policymakers have more work to do. So Wall Street is bracing for interest rates to stay higher for longer. David Gura, NPR News, New York.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 250
Give away all our money
points.
overseas.
This is NPR. The United Auto Workers Union has expanded its selective strikes to a new plant in Texas. UAW workers are now walking out of a General Motors facility in Arlington
Didn't
that
tell
makes
you.
SUVs.
We won't even break
The union
even unless
says
we
it's
sell weapons to
widening
both
its strike
sides.
hours after
So we
GM
gotta keep
reported
fighting.
third
When the
quarter
truth
earnings
is,
of
fighting is what's
$3.5
costing us all of our
billion.
tax money.
The Texas Rangers will be playing in Major League Baseball's World
They
Series
just don't want
for
you
the
to believe
first
it.
time in more than a decade.
They want
The
to hide
Rangers
it.
beat the Astros in Houston last night 11-4 to win Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. From member station KERA, Tolowana Osabamalo has more.
The Rangers
they make
earned
a
an
bank off
immediate lead with 3 runs in the game's first
Their
inning.
personal
They
life.
kept racking up runs with series MVP Adolis Garcia after
Personal
that.
wealth.
Each step toward victory earned the team
Destroying
thunderous
the,
cheering during
rest
a
of
watch
the
party at the Rangers' home stadium in Arlington. Marcus Moreno says the ups and downs of the 7-game series never killed the fan spirits.
Yeah, for me, I love the Rangers just because I'm a Texas guy. The fans are great all the time, and we just want to get a World Series. We need that.
This will be the Rangers'
Comes
first
to
appearance
Texas
in the
as
World
well.
Series since 2011. I'm Toluwani
Houston.
Osabamalo in Arlington, Texas.
The Rangers will play the winner of tonight's Game 7 of the National League Championship Series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. Women in Iceland are on a one-day strike today. They're demanding an end to gender-based violence
one-day
and
strike?
unequal pay. One of the women on strike is Iceland's Prime Minister. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.
In NASA news, LiDAR technology improvements will help NASA scientists and explorers with remote sensing and surveying. mapping, 3D image scanning, hazard detection and avoidance, and navigation. Next generation software is making it easier for researchers, policymakers, and citizen scientists to model air quality and greenhouse gases using NASA meteorological data. Greater than back to gallery Maricela Lizcano never dreamed of working for NASA. In fact, she wasn't planning on furthering her education until she had a revelation in her late 20s. I was watching one of those forensic shows, and I loved the way they caught the criminals with science, said Lizcano, research materials engineer at NASA. NASA's Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope will provide one of the deepest ever views into the heart of our Milky Way galaxy. The mission will monitor hundreds of millions of stars in search of telltale flickers that betray the presence of planets, distant stars, small icy objects that haunt the outskirts of our solar system, isolated. NASA's Starlink CubeSats are zipping through low Earth orbit in the agency's latest test of robotic swarm technologies for space. The 4 Starlink spacecraft, launched in July 2023, are testing a group of small satellites' ability to coordinate and cooperate independently without real-time updates from mission control. NASA invites the public to follow the Starlink in weather.
Cool.
Right now in Seattle,
All right.
it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit with
fine.
cloudy skies.
Amazon.
To-
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Why did the wizard get a job as a cook? Because he was good at sorcery.
Saucery. Well, sauce is good. All right. Enjoy the sauce. Peace. Prosperity.